Some films can truly surprise. Others immerse you in a dark atmosphere and make you think. Today we will analyze several films that can be a godsend for fans of thrillers, horrors, and psychological drama. What makes them stand out? Who will appreciate them? And is it worth watching? Let's figure it out. The Wedding Guest is an atypical thriller that plays with the expectations of the viewer. The main character, the mysterious Jay, travels from the UK to Pakistan with a clear plan to kidnap the bride from her own wedding. However, everything does not go according to plan, and the film turns into a tense road movie where the main characters are forced to improvise, escaping from their pursuers. Dev Patel, known for Slumdog Millionaire, unexpectedly reveals himself in the role of a cold-blooded anti-hero, and Rachel Brosnahan adds a touch of unpredictability to the film. The film does not strive to be a classic action movie or a thrilling drama, but immerses the viewer in an atmosphere of uncertainty where moral boundaries are blurred. Director Michael Winterbottom creates a stylish and minimalist film, focusing on the tension between the characters and their internal conflicts. The film will appeal to those who are looking for unusual thrillers without obvious clichés.
No.
The Silencing is a dark thriller that skillfully combines elements of detective and psychological drama. The protagonist, a former hunter Rayburn, lives in seclusion after his daughter goes missing. When a serial killer appears in the woods, he becomes involved in a dangerous game, hoping that solving the crimes will lead him to the truth about his daughter's fate. The atmosphere of the film is filled with anxious tension, and the cold, foggy landscapes enhance the feeling of isolation and hopelessness. Nikolai Coster-Waldau is convincing as a broken man trying to cope with the pain of the past, and Annabelle Wallis complements the story with the image of a steadfast sheriff. Although the film does not offer revolutionary plot solutions, it keeps you on the edge of your seat and is able to hook fans of dark detectives. Fans of thrillers with a tense atmosphere and strong characters should take note of The Silencing. The Devil. All the Time is a haunting, multi-layered drama thriller that explores the darkness of the human soul. The film follows a series of tragic destinies intertwined in post-war America, where religious fanaticism, violence, and despair become a part of life. At the center of the story is Arvin Russell, a young man trying to survive in a world full of cruelty and hypocrisy. Tom Holland gives an unexpected performance in this role, demonstrating depth and drama, and Robert Pattinson brilliantly transforms into a vile preacher. Director Antonio Campos creates an atmosphere of hopelessness, enhanced by magnificent cinematography and a dark aesthetic of American Gothic. The film is slow but mesmerizing. It does not provide easy answers and leaves a heavy aftertaste. It is a brutal but honest look at the darkness hidden in people, which, despite its gloom, is difficult to forget.
I do because I have to.
August. Osage County is a powerful family drama based on the play by Tracy Letts. The film tells the story of the toxic relationships within the Weston family, which come together after their father disappears. At the center of the action is the caustic and domineering mother Violet, whose addiction to pills and harsh language turn every family dinner into a battlefield. Julia Roberts, who plays her daughter Barbara, is a worthy opponent in this emotional battle. The atmosphere is tense to the limit, and the dialogues are real verbal duels, filled with pain, resentment, and sarcasm. Despite the theatrical nature of the production, the film does not lose its cinematic expressiveness, and the brilliant cast makes every scene gripping. This is a story about bitterness, family trauma, and inability to forgive, which can make the viewer both admire the acting and feel internal discomfort due to its harsh truthfulness.
You gotta tip your hat to anybody who could stay married that long. Karen killed himself.
Night Shyamalan's Old is an unusual thriller based on the graphic novel Sandcastle. A group of people find themselves on a mysterious beach where time flows abnormally quickly, turning hours into years. The plot quickly picks up speed, turning a vacation into a fight for survival, and the atmosphere of tension increases with every minute. Shyamalan masterfully uses camera work and visual techniques, creating a claustrophobic effect even in an open space. However, despite the intriguing plot, the film suffers from an uneven script and unnatural dialogue, which can spoil the impression. Nevertheless, the idea of the transience of life is effectively revealed, and the final twist, as expected in Shyamalan's films, adds new meaning to the events. Old is not the director's best film, but fans of conceptual thrillers with elements of mysticism may find it fascinating.
They have to know what this place does. I don't know.
That holds a memory of a death.
I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House is an atmospheric horror film that is more reminiscent of ominous poetry than a classic horror film. The plot centers on a young nurse, Lily, who cares for an elderly writer whose books seem to have become a prophecy. The house, filled with ghostly shadows of the past, becomes a trap, and the slow, almost hypnotic rhythm of the narrative immerses the viewer in a state of anxious anticipation. The film is full of visual aesthetics. Long static shots, the play of light and shadow, create a sense of unreality of what is happening. However, such a meditative pace may seem tedious to those expecting dynamic horror. There are no jump scares, but there is a subtle, penetrating sense of inevitability. This film is more of a meditation on death and memories than a traditional horror film. Fans of non-standard genre cinema may find the film fascinating, but it is unlikely to suit fans of action horror. The Devil's Candy is a stylish indie horror that combines mystery, psychological thriller, and heavy metal atmosphere. The story follows artist Jesse and his family as they move into a new house, unaware of its dark past. Soon, Jesse begins to hear ominous voices and unconsciously transfers their influence to his paintings. The film is distinguished not only by its tense atmosphere, but also by its strong visual style. Creepy paintings, muted colors, and a powerful soundtrack create the feeling that evil literally permeates every frame. Ethan Embry's performance gives the main character a convincing depth. His torn between art, family, and dark forces makes the film especially gripping. Unlike many modern horror films, The Devil's Candy does not rely on cheap jump scares, but builds fear on a sense of inevitability. This is a great choice for those who appreciate smart, aesthetically pleasing, and unconventional horror. Mandrake is an atmospheric folk horror film that immerses the viewer in a dark, oppressive story of fear, superstition, and ancient evil. The plot centers on prison officer Katie, who is assigned to oversee the release of Mary Laidlaw, a convict convicted of a horrific crime. However, it soon becomes clear that Mary's dark reputation may be more than just rumors. The film does not strive for quick scares. Instead, it methodically builds tension, using a cold color palette, unsettling music, and a sense of hopelessness. The visual style emphasizes the dampness and gloom of the countryside, enhancing the unsettling atmosphere. Although Mandrake is slow-paced, it compensates for this with dense suspense and a sense of inevitable evil. This is a film for those who appreciate horror films with folklore motifs and dark aesthetics, where the psychological pressure and creepy, oppressive atmosphere are more important than loud jump scares. Monolith is an Australian science fiction thriller about a young journalist trying to rebuild her career. She begins investigating a conspiracy theory about a mysterious black brick, supposedly of alien origin. Delving into the world of mysteries, she records a podcast, talking to people whose lives were destroyed by this artifact. However, she soon has to face questions of truth and lies in her own story. The film is notable for its enigma. Almost all the action takes place in one room, and only one actress is on screen, Lily Sullivan. Director Matt Wesley skillfully maintains tension, using limited space and a minimalist approach. However, some viewers note that the ending of the film turned out to be predictable and formulaic, which somewhat reduces the overall impression of watching. Overall, Monolith is a film for connoisseurs of atmospheric and psychologically intense thrillers, where the emphasis is on the inner experiences of the characters and the creation of a tense atmosphere. Despite some shortcomings, the film is capable of interesting fans of non-standard cinema with deep semantic subtext.
Some kind of sick joke.
Malum is a horror film about a young police officer, Jessica Lauren, who is on her first shift at an abandoned police station. There, she encounters manifestations of a demonic cult connected to her father's past. The film is a reimagining of the 2014 film Last Shift and combines elements of a psychological thriller and supernatural horror. Viewers note the tense atmosphere and an abundance of jump scares, but opinions on the quality of the film are divided. Some consider it creepy and exciting, while others criticize the predictability of the plot and the abundance of bloody scenes. The visual style of the film emphasizes the gloom and hopelessness of what is happening, creating a feeling of claustrophobia. However, some viewers note that the film may not live up to the expectations of those looking for deep meaning or originality in the horror genre. Overall, Malum will suit fans of films about demonic cults and tense stories taking place in confined spaces. However, those looking for something new or a deeper storyline might want to check out other films. From mystical horrors to tense thrillers, each of these films offers its own unique experience. Which ones intrigued you? Share in the comments, and if you want more reviews of unusual films, don't forget to subscribe and like.